Here are 5 reasons why people think the moon landing was fake.
Armstrong is on the moon. Neil Armstrong, 38-year-old American, standing on the surface of the moon on this July 20th, 1969.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
What if the moon landing was really fake? Do you guys ever wonder if this was true? Like, I know it wasn't. That's an established fact. But like, what if? What if they had actually faked the very first moon landing?
If it was true.
The series where crazy conspiracy theories are debunked by taking them at face value.
We listen and we don't judge.
A small step for man or one giant leap for the CIA and American-made misinformation?
Ignition. Burn away, Houston. Vector good. We're burning flat. That's
If you look closely at this photo taken, you don't see any stars in the background.
As though NASA wouldn't know to fake that, if that were the case.
It's okay, Bingo. Let's go back a little bit.
Sock it to me.
And it's the 1960s, and America is deep, deep, deep into the Cold War.
No social system is so interested in developing science as the socialist system.
Sir, what do you think about this achievement of the Russians? We should find out what they're doing that we're not doing.
Well, I think Russia's accomplishments are greater than ours.
I doubt whether this was actually accomplished. I think it's a remarkable thing. My only regret is that we couldn't get there first.
Russia has in recent months been threatening nations who grant bases to America.
The course of United States policies in the competition with Russia has been severely shaken.
And the Soviets, they're winning the space race. The first satellite, Sputnik. The first human in orbit, Yuri Gagarin. First spacewalk, that's again the Soviets. For the United States, it's a humiliation spiral. The US government is just really struggling. Kennedy has already gone on the record that we're gonna go to the moon.
The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not. And no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in this race for space. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
But the problem is, they can't do it. NASA is burning through cash like they're Heath Ledger. The Saturn V is a beautiful death trap. Life support technology is iffy at best. So what's the solution? The most American thing possible. We fake it.
Fake it till you make it.
NASA's best and brightest think that they are working toward a real mission. Meanwhile, a handful of top NASA brass, some military intelligence guys, and some guys from Hollywood orchestrate the greatest lie in human history.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Step 1, build the evidence. The Apollo 11 broadcast, filmed on a secret set deep in the Nevada desert. Special effects courtesy of the best minds in film. Like, have you ever wondered why Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey looks so shockingly realistic back in 1968? Yeah. Step 2, fake the moon rocks. Scientists from around the world will want to study them, so the answer? Meteorites from Antarctica. Close enough to lunar composition that nobody will really ask questions. Step 3, sell the lie. NASA broadcasts live telemetry readings. They fake tracking signals. They even position aircraft at high altitudes to mimic the Apollo capsule's radio signatures. Australia's Parkes Observatory is tracking the mission because they're fed pre-recorded signals.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes.
And then July 20th, 1969, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin land on the moon.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Or at least that's what 3 billion people on Earth see.
Armstrong is on the moon.
Grainy footage, a perfectly placed flag that somehow waves in the airless vacuum of space, a set of flawless one-liners that are delivered with perfect poise. It is the greatest staged achievement in human history. And the craziest part is that it friggin' works. People actually believe it. And America wins the space race. And the Soviets, for all of their intelligence networks, don't call the bluff. Why? Maybe they lack definitive proof. Maybe they decide that exposing the hoax isn't worth the geopolitical fallout. Maybe they cut a deal.
I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo.
And that's what helps prevent the Cold War escalation and bankrupting the Soviet Union to the point that it collapses in 1991. And so today, the Soviet Union would still be more or less intact. But now there's a problem.
Houston, we have a problem.
If Apollo 11 was faked, that means Apollo 12 through 17 were also fake. The entire program is built on a house of lies. And the deeper NASA goes, the more people they have to bring in under the tent, and the more tangled the cover-up actually becomes. More staged landings, more fake moon rocks, more doctored telemetry. In fact, Tom Hanks ends up starring in Braveheart because they never make the 1995 film Apollo 13 either, because there was never any disaster that happened on the Apollo 13 mission, because it would have all gone smoothly because it was all fake.
I'm extremely confused. You're confused. I'm confused, bro.
But by the early 1970s, the cracks are starting to show. Some NASA scientists start asking questions. Why do all the landing photos look so pristine, like they were shot on a soundstage? Why is the lighting so consistent? Why do the moon rocks show signs of earthly weathering? And then whistleblowers start to emerge. Some get discredited, and some have accidents. But the problem is you can only hold the tide back for so long. The 80s roll around and suddenly technology starts to catch up. High-powered telescopes, computer analysis, people start re-examining old Apollo footage, finding anomalies, and the conspiracies, they start to gain traction. And then the 90s come around, early internet forums explode with debate, allowing more people to start connecting the dots. The first real documentaries questioning the Apollo landing start to pop up, and then, in the 2000s, private spaceflight programs begin. Enter SpaceX and Blue Origin. China, Japan, the EU, they start to launch high-resolution lunar probes. And guess what? They start to scan the Apollo landing sites. And something just isn't quite right. No descent stages, no rover tracks, the alleged footprints that are supposedly undisturbed for decades aren't there. And at first, NASA scrambles to explain it. Oh, the dust settled. Oh, the reflectors were placed by robotic probes. But the world, they're not buying it anymore. Classified documents surface, maybe behind-the-scenes footage pops out, maybe an old reel from a 1969 film shoot gets discovered in a vault somewhere, and suddenly everything unravels. America's global reputation is shattered. NASA, they are finished, dissolved, Dunsky. Trust in the government is obliterated. If they lied about the moon, what else could they lie about? Every major event in the last half-century is now suspect. And in the end, the moon, once humanity's greatest frontier, becomes a symbol of deception. The ultimate reminder that sometimes the greatest achievements never ever happened, if it was true.